Hey everyone, my name is Philip Isberg. I've been doing e-commerce for over 9 years and I own and help scale brands doing over $6 million a month. And a lot of that has come from influencer marketing. In this video, I'm going to talk about the pitfalls of influencer marketing and what you can do today and how you can make influencers make your brand a lot more money using their authority and their trust. I'm going to go over and touch upon negotiating, how you calculate prices so that you don't get scammed, if you should work with big or small ones so that you today, after watching this video, can hop off YouTube and start taking actions. So I've spent, I don't know how much money, a shit ton of money on influencers, and I've made even more. I've done a lot of influence marketing in the Scandinavian countries, Norway, Finland, Denmark, and Sweden. And here they are a lot more expensive than they are in the US and the UK as well for that part. So the prices I'm going to go over now are going to be quite expensive, but still I've made so much money using it. So first of all, why do we use influencers to scale our ads? Because I don't care about the influencer posting on the story. Sure, it's nice, but that rarely makes me a lot of money. Sometimes it has like 10, 20x my money when you found that perfect, the perfect influencer for your followers, for your buyers. But usually I want them to blast ads on Meta, on Snapchat, on TikTok. So why does it work so well? And that's because the trust, the authority that that influencer has over your potential customers, so that when they see your product being used by the influencer, they'll buy the product. And why? We have to understand why someone buys a product and what makes a good product. It's the size of the problem that it solves. It's the perceived likelihood of success to reach that dream scenario that you've built up. And it's the sacrifice, effort, whatever, those other parts as well. Very nice. But the most important things here are the size of the dream scenario and the perceived likelihood of them actually achieving it. And a big problem people do is they just pump their dream scenario to the sky and say, oh, you'll fly when you use this product. But what that does is it lowers the perceived likelihood of success. And in most cases, having a lower dream scenario, like, oh, it's just nice. It's like, hey, I believe you, it's nice. That sometimes, most often, actually sells the product better. But still, a higher dream scenario is better. So using an influencer and telling them, say that this works and this is a good product. Pro tip, have an actual good product. This will make your life so much easier. But them saying that not only allows you to increase the dream scenario, because now they believe it, but it also increases the perceived likelihood of achieving it, because that influencer uses it. So now they believe it. So this allows you to skip so much headache when it comes to actually having to do good marketing and having to do retargeting and having to build trust over time. Just hijack their trust. That's why I love using influencers, and that's also why I prefer using the bigger ones and the biggest ones, if you would ask me. And in the US, that's way more difficult, like getting just being able to work with like Kylie Jenner, I don't know who's trending in the US right now, with Trump, like just getting to them is the problem, not the money. In Sweden, like I can send an email to someone right now and I have the biggest one if I just pay. It's way more easier. But if you have a cash flow issue, like use the smaller ones. It's gonna take more time, you're gonna get less out of it, but you're going to make more money. And if you have less amounts of money, what you can do and what you should do is stock up your audience, stock up your current customers, find their social media, find out which social media they actually hang on. Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it TikTok? Is it Snapchat? Find out who they are following. You can actually just stock up your customer. Like if you search for their name, you have their name, you have their address, you have basically everything. Search up their name on Instagram and then try to find out, oh, but this person lives here and this is the address. Like you can actually stalk, and I mean actually stalk your customers and find their social media and find who they're following. Do that 100 times. More work. But now you should have found a pattern in who they're following. And if you're lucky, you have one person that most of them are following. Work with that person and you'll 100x your investment. Now, maybe not with the time it takes to do this, but put some Filipino guy on it and you're basically good to go. But this is how you find the smaller ones. If you have a limited cash, do this. Put the time in. You have no cash, which means you have a lot of money. No, it doesn't. It means you have a lot of time, not money. But if you have less of a cash flow issue and you just want to get into it, work with the biggest one. And when it comes to negotiating, because the biggest ones are going to try to scam you, because this is what I felt when I started working with the bigger influencers. Like, these are people that oftentimes I've watched their YouTube growing up, and now I'm going to work with them. If they tell me 25K, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to pay it. And then I realized, mindset shift. And you have to realize this as well. They do not make money without you. You make money currently without them. They cannot eat without you. And as long as you believe that and you talk to them as if you actually believe it, you're going to be good to go. Like, you don't have to work with every influencer. But most influencers are going to have to work with you or with me or with our fellow colleagues, our fellow e-commerce people, dropshippers. Like, we are the ones that are putting the food on their table. So you don't need them, they need you. If you start with that mindset, you're going to be good to go. Now, when it comes to the actual pricing, like as I said, in Sweden, I'm paying people with like 200K followers, like 14,000 bucks. And that's for an Instagram story and ad rights for 30 days. And then sure, they're famous outside of Instagram as well, but that's generally what I pay. Now, if you want to make this calculation, like this is the calculations that I do in Sweden. If you apply this, like it applies throughout the world, but you're just going to get way better prices. So an example of pricing I have my calculator here because, come on, bro, I'm not going to do math. So let's say they have, because what you're asking them is you want their actual story views, like their most up-to-date past 30 days story views, because that's where you're going to make the upfront money. The back-end money from the ads you're going to make from having a really good brief sent to them so that they create an actual good ad for you. If you want that made for you, first link in the description, Stardust. It's a software that scans all of your ads, all of your competitor ads, or your bad ads as well, finds patterns in them, creates creator briefs that's going to rip for you, and then you can just send them to the influencer. That's how I do with every influencer I work with, so that every time they print money, even if their stories suck ass, you can still make money from the paid ads. So let's say, oh, they send you story screenshot, they have 25,000 views on average, not their top 9, average. Like, what's a bad day for them? That's your average. Let's say 25,000 views, and I generally assume a 5% click-through rate. If you have a good brief and if you've done your due diligence when it comes to knowing who your targeted audience is and who they follow. Let's do 5%. So this is why you don't. First of all, we're like 10 minutes into the video, don't work with meme pages, please. Don't, okay? Stop. A person. I'm doing this, but like person, not like, okay, I'm gonna drop it. So that brings us to 25,000 times 0.05, which is 5% of 25,000, is 1,250. That's the amount of visitors that their story for the 24 hours that's gonna be up is most likely going to give you. Now you already have your conversion rate, which I would increase by like 50%, because they're in more of a buying state than they are from your ads, your cold ads, because they've said that this product is amazing. They've watched the story for like 2 minutes. They have an offer with a coupon code of 20%. That's usually what I give them. Another thing, like 20%, give them 20% off coupon. So the conversion is going to be 50% higher. So you have 5% conversion rate right now. You're going to go with 7.5% conversion rate. You have a 10% conversion rate right now. You should have a 15% conversion rate. So let's go with 5% conversion rate on the lower end. 1,250 times 0.05. Again, no, it's not, because it's 7.5. 0.075. Which brings us to 93.75. Let's run that up to 94. No, let's run it down. 93 conversions is what it's going to bring you. You already have your average order value, which you're going to decrease by 20%, because they have a 20% off. Like now, usually people coming from influencer don't just buy more often, but they buy more. So here I usually just go with the same average order value because they're gonna buy for more, but it's gonna be 20% less. But let's just do 20% less. So if you usually have 100 bucks average order value, you would have now 80 bucks, right? Thank you, Philip. If you would have, let's say you usually have 50 bucks average order value, you now have 40. So let's do the math. 40 times 93. I'm doing the math in my head right now, by the way. It's 3,720. That's the amount you're gonna sell for when this influencer posts. So if this influencer now comes and tells you it's gonna be 5,000 bucks, you know you're gonna lose money. So what do you say? That's right. That's right. No, Swipe, no, don't take my money. Bad deal. And you now know where you should put yourself. If you pay them 3,700 bucks, you're gonna make 20 bucks off of that story, around there, which means you've made the 20 bucks getting that influencer's face on your ad that you can blast for 30 days. You can blast it for 14 days if you're a whiz. You can blast it for 60 days if you want to pay extra, or just go over the time and then say, oh, I forgot. So this is the price you can go with. And now I've had literal cases in Sweden where they tell me, oh, it's going to be 5,000 bucks for this story and ad rights for 30 days. Always. I know some people doing like ad rights for 2 days, and then after the 2 days they've tested the ads, then they buy extra. I usually don't do that because then they're going to charge you 1,000 bucks a week for the extra ad rights, which I've never paid. Because I bundle it up and I negotiate with the ad rights from the get-go, and assume the ad rights, that's the best place you can go from. So they've said, anyways, I just go off, and I never have a script on these videos, so I just go off on my own path. Anyways, so 5,000 bucks, and then this is the email I send them every time. This email has saved me so much money, because this is what you say. You don't say, oh, I could do 3,700 bucks. What do you say about that? You say, oh, wow, 5,000. Because you now have their store reviews. Usually, for this amount of store reviews, we would pay 1,500 bucks. Or maybe not that low. 2,000 bucks. 2,500 bucks. Way lower. But we know that you're way more trusted, way more likable than the other people, and we really love your personality, and like give them compliments is what we're doing here. So I understand that you're more of a premium pricing. I would be able to go up to like 3,000, but you don't make the offer. But I understand that that's way out of what you're asking. So maybe we can just like get back to you in a few months if it makes more sense then. What you've done now is you've anchored what you usually pay. You've given them a compliment so they want to work with you now, because I mean, I am pretty good, I'm pretty likable, you know, oh, don't mind me. And then you've told them what you're ready to pay, but you haven't given them a scam offer. You haven't tried to rip them off, because you ended with, but it doesn't make sense for you. Every single time. Not, sometimes it works, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Every time they come back with, oh, we could do this price. Maybe not every time, okay, let's do 3K. But every time they come back with, no, I mean, yeah, we could start out with this price instead. And you're gonna get it around there, 3,700. What I was saying before, the $5,000 offer, which I did exactly the strategy, I got it down to 800 bucks for the story and ad rights for 30 days. And I just said, oh, like we would usually pay like 800 bucks for this. Like, oh, we usually pay 600 bucks. We could go up to like 800 because we love you. But that's out of the question. Like, that's a dumb offer. See you next time. And she just said, okay. That's it. That's it. So do this every time. Even for the influencers that you look up to and say, oh my God, I really want to work with Neymar. Bro, just tell him, brother, what is going on? and you're gonna get better prices. Like, this is something you should do every single time when you work with influencers. And the last part here is you have to be so on point when it comes to every single thing about what they should post, when they should post it, when you should have the draft that they're going to post. Most of the times I don't like adjust the draft. Like, sometimes they're just dumb and it's like, what are you saying? And they need to redo it. But most of the times it's just for my team to be able to edit it and do variations of it. So on the posting day, we can start blasting the ads. By the way, the ad rights start like counting from the day you start the ads, not from the post itself. I know people that start the ads before the story itself. Don't do that. Don't do that, especially when it's a smaller country. Anyway, so if you're not on point with this, like, we even do this time of day, not just this day, because influencers do not take their work seriously. And I used to believe that they did. I used to feel bad for people like talking shit about influencers, because I was like, oh, it must be hard always being like feeling the pressure of creating content, being relevant. But bro, no, like, after working with influencers, they don't care themselves. So they will forget posting. Like, on the day of your collab taking place, they'll post another collab with someone else. They'll post, like, they don't take their job seriously. So why we're doing like, oh, you have to post it at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday is because 9:35 a.m. if they haven't posted, we can just do, yo, when's that story coming up? And an hour later they'll be like, oh, okay, sorry, and then post it, so that they don't postpone it a day and then, oh no, we don't want to do Sunday, we're gonna do Saturday, so next week, but no, that's full, so it's like 2 weeks out now, and you did it on like payday. So just don't do that. Like, put it on the specific time so that you can remind them. You have to be super specific with the landing page and not the home page. Like, that will of course affect conversion rate. And if you don't say the landing page, they are not obligated to switch it. Like, it's so often, like, this is the most common mistake that influencers do, is that they link to the homepage and not the actual landing page, not the product page, not where you want to take them. And if you haven't said clearly, post link exactly here, you can't do anything about it. But if you have said you have to post here, what you can do is you say, after 2-4 hours when you've seen the story up, you say, oh, you're linking to the wrong page. You have to redo the post. They have to redo the post. And almost no one wants to actually remove the story, repost it and link right. If they do it, whatever, now you're linked right. But most people actually want to let it run out or post like an extra reminder story. And this is free because you've been super clear on what you actually need, and they've made a mistake now. So it's like, most of the time when we work with an influencer, they post multiple times, and sometimes they even repost, like record an entire collab and then post it a few days later because they don't want to embarrass themselves because they've made a mistake. So do this and you can like double the sales that comes from the stories, and then you still get the ad rights. And if you're super clear with every single thing, if you rack up mistakes that they do, sometimes we've even gotten like extended like 45 days ad rights because they've made so many mistakes. And if we wouldn't have been clear on don't do this, we would never have gotten that extra bonus. And now the fun part, scaling with this is a hack, secret hack, that if you do this, you will definitely make more money. Do more. Just do a bunch more of it. That's it. Don't build freaking systems. Just do more of it. And then when it's like, okay, now we're doing like 5-7 influencers a week, build the system. Like, yeah, it's gonna be easier. But just do more. If you focus on doing more and then the other things, you're gonna make a ton of money. And for most brands, we don't do UGC like collabs ever. We don't work with user-generated content creators. We only work with influencers because that gets us the UGC content often cheaper because the content paid for itself using their stories, and we get that extra trust and authority and extra brand awareness on top of that, and then the video we can scale. So if you're not like pushing a bunch of money on paid ads right now, don't do this. it's gonna be rare that you actually make a lot of money with the time and effort you put into an influencer collab just for the story. And those story, never do feed, never do things like that. If you're in Norway, do Snapchat collabs. Often, all the times, just do on Instagram story. Don't do TikTok. Please don't do TikTok. Yeah, I think I've mashed like the final minutes, just me mashing in things. Don't do this, don't do that. But that's basically it. If you do the things I've said here and do a lot of it, you're going to make more money. And then, of course, everything might not work like 100% for you. As long as you do a thing and you see if it's bad or good and you adjust accordingly and then you do more, you're going to make more money. That is it. If you like this video, please like the video. Please comment, say, I like the video. If you want to follow me more on an intimate level on my Instagram, follow me on my Instagram. I post a lot of stories. And then, yeah, we'll see you in the next video. It's just me here. See ya. Peace.